From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast with Scott Sander.
Welcome to the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast. I'm Scott Sander. On this episode,
let's get started by meeting the June Minority or Women-Owned Vendor of the Month. We have a truly sweet industry focus, and we'll wrap things up with our success story.
Every business is unique and has a target audience. If you own or manage a business, Circulus Digital Media can help you connect and grow your customer base with turnkey digital solutions that are nimble, offering best-in-class results, service, and support to reach a bigger customer base, allowing you to pinpoint a specific audience down to the smallest details. Get outside the city, the state, span the globe. Put Circulus Digital Media to work for you. Get started now at circulusdigital.com. That's circulusdigital.com.
Nick Lunn is the owner of Cornerstone Construction Group, specializing in private, commercial, and government construction work.
Cornerstone Construction Group, we started off as a civil construction company, and we've done a lot of work for several clients that you probably know of, such as NiSource or NIPSCO, Citizens Energy Group, the airport, Indianapolis International Airport, a lot of paving, concrete, erosion control. Well, we've evolved over time, and we've branched off into the vertical construction space, where we have great people that came aboard, such as Maurice Dunn, and he runs our vertical construction side of things. And we've partnered with different mentors in this industry, such as Shield Sexton, who've really helped us to really grow that area as well. But we've been in the business since 2013, roughly, and we've had a substantial growth, which has been exciting. A little fun and a little hurt sometimes, but it was well worth it. Winning this award is incredible. One, it's the city of Indianapolis. I was excited to be here in the city, growing my business and hiring great people in the organization. But more importantly, to be recognized by the mayor's office as being a diverse business of the month is huge. One, because we are a diverse business in general. When you look at our landscape, we have different cultures and different ethnicities and people that represent Cornerstone. When you think about Cornerstone, it's not Nick. Cornerstone is us. That's why we say in our office, together we win. So this award means a great deal to me, to be honored by the city of Indianapolis, especially with the diverse department that they have and that push, the initiative they have for minority and women-owned and veteran-owned businesses. I'm a huge proponent of that in this space. I started the company when I was in my garage, right? I literally had to borrow $2,500. I went to the junkyard and I bought 2 trucks. One drove and one I towed home, and one sat, and I kept it as a reminder to me that if you have enough persistence, enough tenacity, enough grit, and you keep the focus, the goal in the front of you, you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. Hence, today, we have grown tremendously, and being in this construction space and having mentors like a Shield Sexton in our lives, that helps us exponentially grow. And so business is great. I can't complain about it, even though sometimes I want to, but it's great. Business is great, and I really appreciate being in this space as well. So one of the things that I sit as an MBIC chair for Mid-States Minority Development Council, and one of the committees that I sit on, at least the one I chair, I'm a big proponent of the XB spend, right? Spending with other minority, women-owned, veteran-owned businesses. Why? Because it supports that fabric of our community. When you look at the fabric of our community, it speaks to what the business landscape should look like. And so for me to push that, not only with myself and what we've done here, but with other businesses. As a matter of fact, I just hired a demolition company out in Greenfield. We're preparing to build a 9-building facility. And I hired a woman-owned business to be the excavation company for that. Why? Because I believe in that fabric, right? Not only that, but I sit on a subcommittee also promoting XB spend. It's important that we support this initiative because I believe that if we all play together, it can help us all benefit together as well. So, and I believe that even with the mentorship, they also believe the same thing in regards to how the fabric of this works. I know I work with, one of my mentors is Matt Barnes, and he is a big proponent of seeing Cornerstone really take off. Not only Cornerstone, but several other companies that we work with currently. So I'm a huge proponent in regards to that landscape. Well, number one is my people, the folks that work here at Cornerstone. I mean, without them, I wouldn't be where I am. And don't get me wrong, I get up, I put my boots on, and I go to work just as much for my people. And then knowing that my people can go out to the communities in which we serve, in which we truly love to be in, and really put their hard work and their effort in. When I see them back in the project management room and they're going through projects that's in our community, really, that's a huge deal, right? Because I know that we're going to be represented on that specific project in that community. We like to hire the locals, right? Reaching out to people that maybe you've never been in construction before, and you're interested in learning project management, project engineering. As a matter of fact, I sat down with 2 young men on Saturday, briefly, and they have an aspiration to go to Purdue. They have aspirations to go to MIT. They have these different aspirations in our community. They just need that extra support. So with us being in the community, working, and being able to recognize that. As a matter of fact, I went to Tinley, and Tinley is a great school, and there's two students that we talked about and I talked to and talk about coming over here at Cornerstone as well, and they both want to be an engineer. So again, being in the community, not just our community here locally, which is Cornerstone, but our community at large. That's what makes a big difference for me. That's what warms my heart, to see this thing in action, like see it actually playing out. Sometimes it's surreal because I look back and I'm like, wow. I think even on Saturday, I think I was here at the office on Saturday, and I looked at the trucks and I said, wow, the mayor's going to be here. This is going to be incredible. He gets to see my trucks line up. Well, I remember when I only had the 2 trucks. One, remember, I towed it to my house, and one I drove. So now to have trucks that represent that diverse community, that says a lot. I don't know about anybody else, but to me, that brightens my heart. So.
Carrie Abbott is the owner and founder of Newfangled Confections in downtown Indianapolis. Recently, she attended a convention of like-minded candy creators held in Chicago. We asked her for a confection convention recap.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Industry Focus.
I own a business called Newfangled Confections, where we manufacture and sell candy. And Newfangled Confections makes our signature candy called Friddle, a fudge-like brittle. And then also we acquired an existing company called The Best Chocolate in Town. So Newfangled Confections, then we make the candy Friddle, which has national distribution. And then also we manufacture chocolate for The Best Chocolate in Town. And we've got a little retail store on Mass Ave. Newfangled Confections is a member of our association, trade association, called the National Confectioners Association. So in short, we call it the NCA. And the NCA holds once a year a trade show called Sweets and Snacks. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's candy manufacturers, snack manufacturers. They're kind of all in one place at the same time to learn together, to meet up with one another, to see trends, and just hold meetings and just kind of see what the industry's doing. Well, I'm always overwhelmed when I go to this place because it's very colorful. It's lots of fun. I see my favorite snacks and treats there. But this year, it seemed like a couple trends that I noticed. Smaller packaging. It's really important now to have front of packaging signage like the ingredient labels. So that's sort of a demand. Better for you foods, meaning like vegan, specialty foods, gluten-free, keto. Those are really big trends. And also there seems to be like a kind of a Latin flavor spin on things. Pork rinds in America have been around forever, but in sort of Latin flavors, they're called chicharrones, that I'm learning myself, but they're called chicharrones, and they are spiced differently, sweet and salty. And then also a lot of snack and candy companies are going with churro flavors. So churro is simply cinnamon sugar. Really in the Midwest, I think it's kind of like restaurants where we're still, like Indianapolis, for example, we're still kind of a hub for a lot of chain restaurants to sort of test things out. So I think the same is with candy and snacks. Kind of our retail grocers, like the big chain groceries, if you go to their specialty or candy aisles, whatever you see there is either cutting edge and new, and they're looking for data from the Midwest, or it's the tried and true packaging, flavors, and brands. So the Sweets and Snacks trade show has been in Chicago for 26 years, and the exciting news is that Indianapolis is part of a 2-city rotation for this trade show starting next year, 2024. And Indianapolis will host 6 of the next 9 years, with sharing it with Las Vegas. It's a closed show, so it's closed to the public, but we're working on that. But it's a closed show as in the attendees. There's about 16,000 people that come, but the attendees are buyers representing stores, the brokers, and the distributors. So the exhibitors, 800 exhibitors or so, we basically bring our brands and wares and samples to attract the buyers, distributors, and brokers. So it's closed in that sense. The unique thing about Indianapolis is how it's positioned as opposed to Chicago is it's at the convention center, which is attached to a lot of hotels, and we do have a lot of tourism, even within our state. So Indianapolis will roll out the red carpet for this industry, and it can be confusing because everyone will see it just driving by to and from work. So the association is working on somehow to incorporate some element that will welcome the locals, and I have a feeling that will happen in the next 2 years. So we have been involved with the Sweets and Snacks show for many, many years. In the very beginning, I didn't even know what I was doing. I knew we were a viable brand to take national, but I really wasn't sure how. Years later, we know exactly how. We've reached distribution as far as every Barnes & Noble, regional Target, World Market, regional Kroger. We've been in every Ingles. We've just been in a lot of places that we're really proud of, but this is the one trade show where we can take Friddle, the product, our local Indianapolis brand. This is the one place we can take it nationally to get the word out and get it in front of people who might want to take it to their store in other communities.
More and more women are becoming entrepreneurs. According to a study by Gusto, women started 49% of the new businesses in the country in 2021, and every indication is the numbers will be similar or stronger in 22 and this year. Business expert and author Marilyn Rockefeller speaks to the rise of women in positions of leadership in her new book, Mountain Girl, From Barefoot to the Boardroom. She talked with Lifestyle Live's Amber Hankins for this week's success story.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities Success Story.
And I am so pleased and honored to be joined by Marilyn right now. Marilyn, it's so nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Okay, let's talk about this book. And I also want to talk about the humble beginnings and where your story originally began, because you really do have a story to tell.
Yes, it began in the mountains of West Virginia, the Appalachian Mountains, right on top of the mountain. And I lived with my grandparents for 9 years. My mother was off trying to build her career in education and couldn't afford, at that time, a babysitter. This was in the 40s, and it was at the very end of the Great Depression. It had lingered in the mountains, and there was a lot of poverty. But I was so fortunate to live with them. They were wonderful people, and they had a self-sustaining farm. So we were never out of food, and it never occurred to me that there was poverty. And they shared what they had. And so my beginnings were wonderful, full of warmth and love and food and a house. Yes.
Absolutely. And I'm curious as to where your journey went from there. I am fascinated by the idea that you had zero business experience and have done so well for yourself in setting such an example for other women out there. Where did that life go from when you were young to where you are today? Where was that culmination of this is what I want to do?
First off, it wasn't what I planned to do. I wanted to be a doctor.
Wow.
But things, take various turns, and you meet various people. And I ended up at the University of Michigan at one time and met my former husband there, who was a designer. And he had C. William Moss Associates and was a foremost known designer. And he had revolutionized the tent market, coming up with a pop tent, which was lightweight, easy to put up, and didn't stink, and was very fun. And he went on to design different things, and I started working for him as just a receptionist. Bill was a brilliant designer and artist, but he couldn't run a business. And I don't know about you, but I think women sort of pitch in when things get rough and you need taken care of. So the business wasn't working, and I got in there and had to start running it. And what I used instead of an MBA or any business experience was that beginning of my first 9 years with my grandparents. And I learned just the wonderful values from them of sharing and trusting and caring and respecting people. And I just started running the company with those values and my intuition and intuitive feelings, and ended up with a very loyal, wonderful workforce. I had 164 employees, and we worked together. We all agreed on our mission statement, which was that each individual has worth and dignity, and I wanted to be able to give them the potential to reach their full potential. And so I did that with each one.
I love that. And I would imagine that some of these stories are what we can expect in this book, Mountain Girl, From Barefoot to Boardroom. And I'm very curious, one of the part I wanted to ask you is you want to unlearn the idea that faking it is a negative thing, that you acted like you knew everything until you learned it, and that allowed you to build the confidence that you needed to succeed and to be respected. I love that line, and I think as women, we can learn so much from that.
I hope so, because I know there's too much of the fake it until you make it, and I decided, no, that's not what I was doing. I had to fake it because I was running a company. I was the president and CEO, so certainly I had to start acting like one, right? Whether I knew what it was and what I was supposed to do or not. But that gave me the respect and the time to then develop myself and to learn and to take risks, but from mistakes, be sure and learn.
Well, it has been such a pleasure speaking with you. Is there anything else that you would like to tell our viewers, especially the female viewers, in terms of entrepreneurship? Any other advice that you have for them before we leave here?
I think women make great leaders of businesses because I think we have more empathy. And that is really important, that we take the time to get to know the employees, and I also think it's a position of a woman being a leader to make that business more socially responsible, in that you introduce the ideas of what domestic abuse is, and you take the time to take care of your employees, and it pays off. I mean, it made a very profitable company. So, and I'm proud of the way we did it.
I'm proud of the way you did it too, and I think a lot of people could learn from you, Miss Marilyn. You are a leader and a true pioneer in every right. Thank you so much for being such a beautiful example of what it means to be a woman and a career woman all at the same time. I appreciate talking to you.
Thank you.
All right. Until next time, Marilyn, thank you.
Our thanks again to all the contributors who joined us for this episode of the Business Equity and Opportunities podcast. We hope you found it enlightening, useful, and inspiring. You'll find more information about the show on our website, BEOshow.com. You can watch Business Equity and Opportunities Sunday mornings at 10 on Wish TV, or live stream it through wishtv.com. Each week we provide 7 full segments with topics ranging from how to get started and how to access capital to the day-to-day running of your business and questions about accounting and bookkeeping. We feature business news and trends and always share a success story from one of our contributors. Join Join us next time for more insights into the world of small business. Be sure to sign up for our Business Equity and Opportunities newsletter to get even more valuable, up-to-date information. And if you have any questions or you'd like to be part of our show, please email us. The address is BEO@wishtv.com. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Scott Sander. Thanks for listening.
Watch the Business Equity and Opportunity Show on Wish TV and access all of our content and share it on demand anytime at BEOshow.com. You can find more podcasts from Wish TV on the All Indiana Podcast Network at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.